Larry named something a divorced man hopes his ex-wife would do. Sorry for this. Die. The answer was right there on the top. We have all seen this clip from the Steve Harvey show Family Feud. While I cannot watch my ex-wife die, but I did watch her wreck her life. It was oddly satisfying. Dear listeners, today, we bring the story of a wife who wrecks her marriage for unknown happiness and wrecks her marriage, loses the custody of her kids and ends in a mental hospital. My name is Ron. I am a 38-year-old man working at a local bank, and I was married to Gina, who was 38 years old when we got divorced. We have 2 kids, one 10 and one 8-year-old, both boys. Gina was very ambitious and outgoing. She always wanted to make online videos and wanted to be a big TikTok star. I never discouraged her, but I always told her that she is not cut for this career. I asked what type of video will she put on TikTok. She had no clue. So I asked to do some research before you start with anything. Since my bank has a nationwide presence and multiple branches, I have to travel and train people at other branches. Everything was going fine, but due to economic slowdown and heavy losses at the bank, there was a big layoff, and I was one of the ones who got laid off. It was a bad time. While I had money saved for situations like this, and I knew that I would be able to find a new job soon, I was at home and it was a time to have more time with my wife. She asked if she can start her career as an online content creator. I did not stop her and again asked her what would be her content. Once again, she had no answer. Searching for a job was getting a bit difficult, and I was getting a bit desperate. It was also a time where Gina and I were getting some heat in our relationship and there were constant arguments. She constantly complained that she is not happy and I am a bum. She complained that I can get what I want but she is not getting what she wants. I asked what does she want? Her response, "You will never understand what I want." Well, if you don't explain, I will never get it. Our fights escalated, and now she used to fight me and later take her frustration on my kids. I called my mother-in-law and explained the situation, and she promised to speak to Gina. That discussion later triggered Gina to an extent that she refused to talk to me for an entire week. The situation at home was getting toxic. So finally, I had a discussion with Gina that we should get divorced. She started crying and started screaming at me. Once again, we ended up fighting. So I called up my mother-in-law again and explained my decision, and she understood that it was for the better. Finally, she moved out with the kids and stayed in my home. The divorce proceeding was in process, and we steered the discussion for the settlements with our lawyers. At my previous work, I had developed a deep bond with a lady named Lana. She was an amazing woman and a kind soul. She was a big emotional support throughout this ordeal. A few days later, during my visit to my kids, I got to know that Gina had started to work on TikTok and at times she is very irritated after posting her work. So I thought that I should take a look. I found her account and started following her. A week later, this is what Tony Day for me to pursue my dream job, which is, like, creating videos on the internet, which is, like, so, like, cliché because, like, that's literally, whoa, so many people stream and whatever, but whatever. Like, that part doesn't really matter. And so what we're doing right now is, like, we're living off a savings. We have a little bit of passive income that's, like, really helpful. And I thought that I'd be happy or at least happier doing what I've always wanted to do full-time. And I'm not, my brain is still sad. And, like, it breaks my heart, because, like, well, if I'm not happy doing the thing that I thought was gonna be so fulfilling in my life, like, what can I do to be happy? You are unhappy because you have no clue what you are doing and no clue what you actually want. I finally got a job at a local finance firm, and it was a decent paying one. My wife always suspected me of having an affair with Lana. And finally, she did come up with her suspicion in a video post. A suspicion that I had with my husband who be ex-husband. We're in the middle of getting divorced right now. And we're not even officially divorced yet. And he's already sleeping with other. He might have another kid that's not with me one day. We have 2 kids already, and that makes me want to vomit. That really brings a lot of disgust feelings within me, thinking about him having another kid. That's not with me. And my daughter's having a sibling that's not from me. It brings a lot of disgust feelings, and it makes me sad too. But, obviously, I have absolutely no control over what he does. You left. We are separated, and I am free to go wherever I want. This video actually helped me and Lana get closer, and we started dating. It might sound weird that I have started dating within a few weeks after getting separated from my wife. UC was always close to Lana, and had I not been married to Gina, I would have married Lana. During my marriage, I had always been faithful to my wife and got only a toxic home and return. It was an opportunity to be happy for me. I took my kids out every week, and on one occasion, I took them to Lana's place and later dropped them back at Gina's place. A day later, this is what Gina posted. Nobody in my life except for TikTok to talk to. So here we are. And so it was my surprise when today in the car my daughters were like, "Hey, are we going to Ted's friend's house?" I was like, "Oh, no. Who's that as friends?" And, I asked for their name. And they were like, "We don't know her name, but she has 2 cats. She's nice." And I was like, "Oh, she has 2 cats?" She was like, "Yeah. We went to her house. She has 2 cats." He did not run this by me. Like, fuck other people. Whatever. Not even divorced yet. Not even gonna work on yourself at all. Just gonna jump into another relationship. And one last thing. Since we're writing about my soon-to-be ex-husband. Right? The reason why I know for a fact that he's at least seeing another woman is because he bought new shampoo. He didn't just buy shampoo. He bought shampoo, conditioner, and I think a body wash on is it. I didn't look at them that closely. Very aesthetically pleasing packaging. The shampoo is not a regular shampoo, as an apple cider vinegar clarifying shampoo. He didn't just walk into a store and said, "Oh, that's the one for me." A woman told him to buy that. All of that combined. I think it's pretty solid to say that he's seeing someone else. Weeks after, we decided to get divorced. The guy at the store asked me to buy it. It was on sale. I am trying to save money. No. I do not have any woman staying with me, not as of now. And, yes, there's nobody to talk to you because you cannot keep up a normal conversation. Finally, a few months later, we got divorced and Gina got the custody of the kids. A few days later, I got a call from my elder son that he and his younger brother are at home alone and are scared. I was terrified and asked, "Where is Gina?" He said that she has gone to a different state for a party. I was angry, and I asked them to wait for me. I drove to my kids and also called CPS on my way. I reached Gina's place, and just as I entered the house, the CPS lady also came in. I explained that it was irresponsible to leave the kids alone like this, and I want full custody of my kids. The CPS lady called Gina, and she explained that she had arranged for a babysitter, but she did not turn up and she had to leave the kids as her work is important. The CPS lady then asked, why did she not call the father of the kids? Her reply sealed her fate. She stated she did not feel like calling the father of the kids. Next morning, the CPS lady, and I went to the court, and the court, on hearing the situation, handed the custody of my kids to me. Gina was not available in the court. I got a call from my ex-mother-in-law. She explained that she is aware of the incident and has cut all ties from her daughter. I thanked her and told her that she will always be the grandmother for my kids. 2 days later, a new video came. I cut off contact with my mom. Because she abused, stopped and harassed me. But I was at, like, a very desperate place, right, when it was official that, my baby daddy, like, officially was like, hey, I don't think you should be in our kids' lives at all. So I reached out to my mom because I thought maybe she would have some resources that could help me. And she responded back saying that I was possessed by the devil. And I don't deserve to have my kids. So not really worth reaching out to. No. She called me one day and wanted to get the custody of the kids back. I politely declined and hung up. She posted again. I did a little exercise. Like, what your subconscious truly wants out of life and whatever. And it's like the first thing you see is what you really want out of life, and I just saw me on a little, like, porch swing with my kid looking out to the mountains. Which is weird because, like, I did that with my kids, but I think what it really meant for me was, like, I just want to travel the world, just me and my kids. I just live life. I just experience new things. And experiencing them together, and that's what I want out of life. I know. I'm thinking. Is there a way to enjoy life without my kids? Because you know, it feels like a pretty big possibility that that might be my reality. And I don't know. Good that she understands that she is not getting my kids back. A few days later, we had a small party at my home. My mother-in-law was there. Lana was there and few close friends. We're also there. My mother-in-law posted some pictures on her Facebook, and I knew this will make Gina angry. This was her new video. I can admit when I'm jealous of something. And I can recognize within that within myself. And something that I've been jealous of recently are people who have support from their families. People who, in tough times, their families will all come together, like, physically with the person and comfort, support, be there, do whatever it takes to help the person out who's having a hard time. Like, I'm so being jealous of all of these people. So jealous. And I know all the cons are gonna be like, well, you need to do that for your own kids. Okay. Like, I understand that, I get that, and now I'm reaping the questions of that. Got it. Yeah. I can't go back in time. I really wish I could. All I want is that when I get my kids back, I want to, teach them everything that I've learned about life. And, like, teach from the mistakes that I've learned and teach them how to be confident and how to be resilient and how to, like, prepare them for the life. Like, I don't know. I don't know about you and your childhood. No one fucking prepared me for advice left to happen life, and life is if, like. Obviously, right now, I'm going through it, you know, but life is so painful. And it feels to me right now that all life is pain. After this video, Lana asked me if Gina is fine, as her videos depict her failing mental health. I did not want to, but I did speak to my mother-in-law and discuss this with her. She took her to a doctor and she later told me that Gina will be going into a hospital for mental treatment. Gina posted a new video, and I knew at that for her it was now or never. It's a story that I tell myself. And it keeps happening. But it always seems like everyone else gets success, and I don't. No matter how hard I try, no matter how much energy I put into it. I never see any success. I don't know how much harder I have to try. I'm doing everything I can. I need this to work. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know that all her desires and ambitions were crushed, but she never had any plan to achieve any of her goals. I hope she comes out healthy. She is a mother of my kids and do not want them to feel bad. Lana has moved in with me with her 2 cats. Although I do not want to get married as of now, and I will leave that decision for the future. Dear listener, if you have reached this far, please click on the subscribe button. It will be a great help.